Have you ever felt that someone's smile was faker than a Kardashian apology video? Yeah, your gut was right. That wasn't love, it was low-budget hate dressed up in Hallmark packaging. And please stop gaslighting yourself thinking, oh no, maybe I'm just overthinking. No, you're not. You're finally thinking clearly for once in your life. Because here's the truth. Some people around you would rather eat glass than see you win. But instead of being honest about it, they show up with that plastic smile, that golf clap applause, that "I'm proud of you," delivered with the enthusiasm of a TSA agent checking passports. Welcome to the human condition, where envy wears a hug and resentment smells like perfume. And me? I'm Carl Jung, psychologist, philosopher, accidentally trending on TikTok every time someone needs a quote to justify ghosting their toxic roommate. I spent my entire life studying the shadow, the dark, unspoken side of people's minds. And now, apparently, my ghost spends eternity roasting fake friends on YouTube. Lucky you! Let's get one thing straight. Before we dive into the circus, your gut feeling isn't paranoia. It's not just anxiety. It's the last surviving piece of evolution screaming, "Warning, this person claps like they're secretly wishing your career burns in a dumpster fire." Your ancestors survived wild animals and famine with that same intuition, and you're here ignoring it because Karen from HR said, "Oh my God, congrats on your promotion," in a tone flatter than a pancake. Newsflash, Karen hates you, and she'll send you a cupcake to prove it. Because that's how modern hatred works. It's gluten-free, sugar-coated, and disguised as kindness. Here's the thing. Not everyone in your circle is in your corner. Some people are not supporting you, they're just running surveillance. They sit there, smiling, taking notes, waiting for the moment you trip, so they can say, "Oh wow, that must be so hard for you." Which translates to, "Finally, you miserable show-off, the universe dragged you back down to my level." And yet, we still invite these people to brunch. We still tag them in photos. We still send them birthday wishes like they're not secretly practicing voodoo over our LinkedIn updates. You think I'm exaggerating? Let me remind you of something. Hatred got sophisticated. People don't stab you in the back anymore. That's too obvious, too Shakespearean. Now they drain you slowly while hugging you, smiling in your face, clapping 1 second too late, laughing a little too hard when you trip over your words. It's not murder, it's psychological waterboarding. No blood, no knife, no evidence, just that gnawing emptiness in your chest every time they say, "I'm just joking," because the joke is always at your expense. Always. And let me just add, I know sarcasm. I'm dead, but even I can't miss the way some people use humor like a dagger. They'll poke your insecurities with, "Just kidding," and the whole room laughs because, hey, it's funny when it's not their trauma being served up as comedy. Meanwhile, you're sitting there smiling like a hostage, dying inside, because God forbid you call them out. Because then you're the sensitive one. Relax, bro, it's just a joke. No, it's not a joke. It's contempt wearing a clown nose. It's envy in stand-up format. And every time you laugh along, you're basically paying for your own funeral entertainment. You want to know the real kicker? These people don't hate you because you're awful. They hate you because you're doing something right. Your success is a mirror showing them everything they're not, everything they gave up on, everything they scroll past on Instagram while muttering, "Must be nice." Your glow exposes their shadow, and trust me, nothing makes people rage harder than realizing you've become the thing they told themselves was impossible. They'll call it luck, timing, privilege, anything but what it actually is, you working your ass off while they perfected the art of excuses. And while we're here, let's admit something ugly. Sometimes we know exactly who these people are, but we keep them close because we'd rather have fake friends than no friends.
Because silence feels scarier than someone smiling through their teeth at us, but that's like choosing arsenic over hunger. It might feel better for a second, but it's still killing you. Slowly. Subtly. And when you wake up drained, doubting yourself, second-guessing every decision, you'll wonder why. Guess what? It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't Mercury in retrograde. It was Brenda, your bestie, sending you encouragement text with the energy of a car warranty robocall. So here's your wake-up call. If you feel anxious around someone's jokes, if their compliments taste like Splenda instead of sugar, if their applause sounds like background noise from a sitcom, you're not crazy. You're observant. You're finally seeing what I called the shadow, the hidden side of the human psyche that leaks out through sarcasm, backhanded compliments, and fake smiles. And if you keep ignoring that whisper in your gut, congratulations! You've just signed up for emotional bankruptcy. No refunds. And trust me, this isn't about being paranoid or dramatic. This is about survival. Because the people closest to you aren't always cheering you on. Sometimes they're the ones keeping score, sabotaging you in ways subtle enough to pass as accidents, polite enough to be called concern, strategic enough that you'll blame yourself instead of them. And by the time you realize it, you're exhausted, doubting yourself, and wondering why your wins feel lonelier than your failures. But don't worry, I'm not going to leave you drowning in existential dread without throwing you a lifeboat. We're just getting started. The sarcasm, the fake claps, the sabotage, it's all part of the same performance. And lucky for you, I'm about to hand you the full playbook. 8 clear signs that someone close to you secretly hates your guts, but keeps hanging around because misery loves company and, apparently, your company is premium real estate. Grab your popcorn, because this isn't friendship. It's psychological warfare dressed up in birthday balloons. Sarcasm, the universal language of fake friends. You know the drill. They make a joke about your weight, your background, that one embarrassing mistake from 2009 you thought everyone had forgotten, and then hide behind, relax, it's just a joke. No, Karen, it's not a joke. It's a weapon wrapped in a giggle. It's like being stabbed with a butter knife, slow, dull, and humiliating. And the worst part? If you call them out, suddenly you're the problem. Wow, you're so sensitive. Yeah, I'm sensitive because my so-called friend just used my trauma as a punchline. Sorry for not being the open mic stage at your comedy career that never happened. Let's call sarcasm what it really is, emotional hate crimes disguised as stand-up. But sarcasm is just the opening act. Enter subtle sabotage, the knife in the back wrapped in concern. You ever notice how your friend always forgets the most important detail? Like, oh, did I forget to tell you the meeting was moved an hour earlier? My bad. Or they give you advice that sounds supportive but somehow makes everything worse. Don't worry, just be yourself. Yeah, thanks, Susan. Being myself just got me fired. Or the classic, they miss your big moment again and blame it on being busy. Once is an accident, twice is suspicious, 3 times is sabotage with sprinkles on top. They're not helping you. They're holding you hostage in a polite prison of, oops, I forgot. Jung 101, the person who feels inferior will drag you down rather than rise up. And they do it with such Oscar-worthy performances of innocence, you almost applaud. Almost. Then comes silent competition, my personal favorite. Nothing screams, I love you, like turning your promotion into their war declaration. You say, hey, I got a new job. They say, cool, I just bought a house. You share your tiny win, they one-up you like life is a never-ending episode of Shark Tank. And don't even think it's about celebrating together. No, it's about making sure your shine doesn't last longer than a TikTok. Because your joy exposes their lack. Your growth highlights their stagnation. Your win is their loss in the scoreboard inside their insecure brain. You didn't sign up for a competition, but congratulations! You're in one. And the prize? A friendship that feels like emotional cage fighting. Spoiler, nobody wins. And just when you think you've seen it all, here comes superficial kindness, the smile that never reaches the eyes. Oh, they'll say all the right words. So proud of you. That's amazing. Wow, good for you. But their energy? Dead. Their eyes? Glazed like a donut. Their soul? Checked out. It's like talking to a robot programmed with polite phrases and zero human warmth. They show up when it's convenient, disappear when it's not, and always leave you feeling like you just hugged a cardboard cutout. This isn't friendship. This is customer service with worse hold music. Real people celebrate with you, cry with you, hold your hand when life sets itself on fire. Fake ones? They drop a "congrats" like an auto-reply email. And you keep them around. Why? Because you're afraid to be alone? Please, better to eat dinner solo than share dessert with someone who's secretly praying you choke on it. So there you have it. The first 4 warning signs that your inner circle is actually a demolition crew. Sarcasm, sabotage, competition, and superficial kindness. 4 horsemen of fake affection riding into your life with smiles plastered on their faces and knives hidden behind their backs. And the scariest part? You already know who they are. You felt it. That whisper in your gut when they laugh too hard at your mistakes, when they show up late to your victories, when their compliments sound like Siri reading a script. You know it, but you keep ignoring it because confronting the truth feels scarier than living the lie. Well, guess what? I'm here to ruin that denial for you. You're welcome. And now we enter the heavyweight division of fake friendship. Control disguised as care. Ah, yes, the classic line, "I'm just looking out for you," which translates to, "I don't trust you to make adult decisions without me handcuffing your brain." They say it's so sweet, so soft, like a Hallmark card dipped in poison. This is for your own good. Really? Because it feels more like it's for your own ego. You tell them your dream, they say it's too risky. You share your excitement, they call it unrealistic. You make a decision, they suggest you're not thinking straight. And because they occasionally sound wise, you start doubting yourself. Suddenly, you're asking permission to live your own damn life. Jung explained it clearly. People who can't control their chaos try to control others instead. And here's the kicker. Sometimes they're not wrong. But instead of lifting you up, their words shrink you until you're smaller, quieter, dependent. That's not care. That's possession wrapped in bubble wrap. Real love says, "Go fly. Even if you fall, I'll be here." Fake love says, "Don't fly. It's dangerous. Stay in my cage." And you keep mistaking a leash for a hug. But nothing tastes as bitter as gossip, the coward's weapon of choice. You walk into a room, smiles fade, eyes shift, conversations die faster than a Netflix series after season 1. And you just know someone's been running their mouth about you. But not to your face. Oh no, that would take courage. Instead, they twist your words, question your intentions, and sprinkle just enough poison to turn you suspicious without ever getting caught. This isn't honesty, it's emotional arson. And the irony? Their gossip says more about them than you. Because people at peace don't waste time destroying others. Only the insecure need to turn you into a villain to feel like a hero. Jung once said, "The brighter your light, the darker your shadow appears to others." And let me tell you, some of you are walking around shining so bright that half your friends are huddled together whispering like jealous moths. Let 'em. Your silence is louder than the rumor mill will ever be. And then comes the most brutal one. No joy in your success. This is where the mask slips completely. When you were struggling, they were there, nodding, comforting, because your misery was relatable. Your failures were soothing. But the second you start winning, silence. Cold, stiff, polite silence. You text them good news, they reply with cool. You announce your promotion, they change the subject. You share your glow, they dim the lights. Because your rise reminds them of their stagnation. Your growth highlights their inertia. Your happiness feels like a personal insult to their unhealed shadow. They can't clap for you, because clapping would be like applauding their own defeat. And yet you still crave their approval, waiting for the smile that never comes. Let me save you the suspense. It's not coming. Not because you've changed, but because your change reminded them they didn't. That's the kind of heartbreak psychology textbooks don't warn you about. The realization that the people who walked with you through hell won't walk with you through heaven. And finally, the body tells the truth. Words lie. Smiles can be faked, but the body is a snitch. Always. They say, "I'm happy for you," but their jaw tightens, their shoulders tense, their eyes dart away. Their clap lands a second too late. Their hug feels like you're embracing a radiator. You sense it before your brain processes it. The energy shift, the room going cold, the gut whispering, "This person doesn't mean it." That's not paranoia, that's biology. Your nervous system is picking up micro-signals humans have been decoding since we lived in caves. Back then, it meant survival. Today, it means spotting which of your friends would sell your success for 2 likes and a retweet. And yet, we ignore it because we're conditioned to value politeness over perception. We smile back at the very people whose bodies are literally screaming, "I hate you," and then wonder why we're exhausted after coffee with them. So let's wrap this disaster up with a bow. You don't need to confront these people. You don't need to expose them. You don't even need to waste your energy hating them. You just need to protect your peace. Because peace is expensive, and you've been giving it away like it's on clearance. Stop handing your light to people who keep paying you back in shadows. Not everyone in your circle is in your corner. Some are just sitting in the front row waiting for you to trip. They don't stab you with knives anymore. They stab you with late claps, fake smiles, and cold silence. And the longer you pretend not to notice, the deeper the poison seeps. So, here's the choice. Keep trying to win over people who secretly want you to fail, or choose yourself. Choose your growth. Choose your emotional freedom. Because self-love starts exactly where fake love ends. And if you needed someone to give you permission to cut ties, congratulations! You just got it from a dead Swiss psychologist with nothing better to do than haunt your YouTube algorithm. You're welcome. And hey, before you run off to ghost half your contact list, smash that like button. Not because I care about validation from strangers on the internet, though let's be real, I'm dead. Validation is all I've got left. Subscribe, stick around, and let's keep dissecting the human circus together. Because trust me, the masks are only getting creepier, and I've got a front row seat to it all.